Howdy, howdy. Welcome to The Awakened Heart, a podcast for healing women. This is a space where your voice matters, your body is sacred, and your journey home to yourself is honored no matter how winding the road. I'm Autumn Moran, a licensed professional counselor, certified life coach, yoga instructor, and ultimately your advocate for empowered healing. And today I want to dive into something I think many of us carry silently, and that's friendship trauma. When you've been told your whole life you're too sensitive, too much, right? Coming off that last episode that I had last week about being too much, right? Being told you're just too something, right? When your natural neurodivergent ways of relating don't fit neatly into the social norms, friendships can feel like both the deepest ache and the deepest fucking longing. So today, we're going to dive into it. And if while you're listening to this episode, you feel like you want to go deeper or explore more about your neurodivergence, about your childhood, your past life, your current life stressors, I offer virtual sessions for women just like you every day. Whether you're working through trauma, trying to find your peace within yourself, or navigating accommodations for yourself if you're late diagnosed neurodivergent, or just always been neurodivergent and need some accommodations. I'm here to hold space for all that and help you avoid, recover, and work through burnout. You can check out my Linktree to request a 15-minute consultation. That's free. But now let's get into it. That's my sponsor for today. So, if friendships have ever felt like a battlefield, or if you've ever walked away from a coffee date feeling lonelier than when you arrived, this is for you, my dear. I've been there. I know what that's like. So just let's start like I like to start quite often. Let's take a nice deep breath wherever you're at. Inhale deeply through your nose. No performance here. I just want that belly to expand as you're inhaling. You don't have to hold it all together. And as you exhale, let it out through the mouth or nose. This is just you and me, and we're going to talk some raw truth about making friendships as a neurodivergent woman. For a lot of us, friendship trauma didn't start in adulthood. It started early, maybe in childhood, when the girls in class closed circle and you weren't allowed in. Maybe when you were too intense, too honest, too dreamy, too distracted. And that was treated as a flaw, not a difference. When you grow up autistic or ADHD or with trauma, your way of relating is often misunderstood. You might You might interrupt because your brain works fast. Or you might go quiet because you're processing deeply. Both can be read as rude or weird, and those labels, they fucking stick, right? So what happens? Where do we go then? I've said it before, I've said it again, and I'll probably talk more about this, but we start to mask. We contort ourselves into someone more palatable. We overgive, we laugh when jokes sting, when we know it's not really a joke. We become helpers, the listeners. We are the one who accommodates every fucking person. And slowly, you lose yourself in friendships that were never safe in the first place. That is friendship trauma. Not just one bad friend, but a lifetime of relational misattunement that teaches you relationships are unsafe and you are the problem. So honestly, neurodivergent women are especially vulnerable to friendship trauma. Why? Why is that? Because the social rules we're expected to follow often clash with our natural brain's working makeup, right? We often crave depth and honesty in relationships, but society rewards surface level small talk. Someone with ADHD may struggle with time blindness or forgetfulness, which gets mislabeled as not caring. Trauma-experienced women often have nervous systems wired for survival, and also neurodivergent women, scanning constantly for rejection. So friendships can feel like a constant test. Am I doing enough? Am I too much? Will they leave if I show who I really am? And here's the heartbreaking part. Sometimes they do leave. Oftentimes they do leave, especially as a neurodivergent person, or no, both neurodivergent trauma. I don't even need to pick them apart. It's just, let's say, a woman's experience. Because by now you're either neurodivergent or trauma experienced if you're listening to me. So I don't need to keep saying that. I honor you. I am so glad you're here. Okay. And sometimes our differences are weaponized against us, and that pain fucking lingers well into adulthood. One of the things I see is called survival friendships. These are friendships you stay in not because they're nourishing, but because they feel safer than being alone. Sometimes these are the oldest friendships we have, and we say, but I've known them since so-and-so, or they were there when I went through this, or they helped me overcome this, or they know so much about me or deep inside. That doesn't mean that they still are here for you presently. You tolerate being drained. You let microaggressions slide. You play the role they need you to play because the thought of being without any friends at all feels vulnerable. And I'm not saying this to say that you're weak. I'm saying this to say that this is survival. Your nervous system is doing its best it could in the options you believe you have. But survival friendships aren't the same as safe friendships. And part of healing is learning to tell the difference. So, red flags, green flags, and friendships. Yes, they are there, and I want to talk about them. This is about getting really practical because healing friendship trauma isn't just theory. It's learning how to see relationships clearly. So, friendship red flags. You leave interactions feeling some sort of way, smaller, drained, or like you have to recover. They minimize your feelings. You're overreacting. It's not that big deal. Oh, chill out. Calm down. Bitch, tell me to calm down, right? I'm out. The only people that can tell me to calm down is my kids. And sometimes they can't tell me to calm down. The friendship feels one-sided. You're the giver, they're the taker. They make jokes that sting. And when you bring it up, you're told you're being too sensitive. You need to lighten up. It was just a joke. You mask heavily around them. It doesn't feel safe to be your whole, authentic, bold, boisterous self. Your boundaries aren't respected. Sometimes you're even punished for having boundaries or judged for having boundaries or in some way made to feel like you're wrong for having a boundary. They compete with you instead of celebrating with you. Oh, this one, it's like, please, the only person I am competing with is myself, who I was yesterday and who I want to be. That's it. Everyone else in my life, I want them to be cheering me on just as much as I cheer them on. And I can't stand it when I'm authentic and I'm cheering someone on just to find out that they fucking hate me because I'm who I am and I have goals and I'm excited and I love life. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? Like, what the fuck? All right, sorry. They gossip constantly, leaving you to wonder what they say about you when you're not around, right? If you tense up, if you're like, oh, fuck, you're not alone. Many of us mistake these dynamics for normal because they're familiar. It's because it's always been in the relationship before we were even able to realize we were traumatized or that trauma was still leading our actions. So what do green flags look like? It's quite the opposite, but I'll explain them because it's important. When you leave interactions with them, you feel you feel lighter, not heavier. You feel like rejuvenated, like, breath of fresh air. Your no is respected and even welcomed. They listen without trying to fix or dismiss. And you don't always have to initiate. You don't always have to carry the weight. It's reciprocal. Your quirks, your sensitivities, and differences aren't mocked, they're embraced. They keep your confidences. They keep your trust. They show up when it matters, even if it's inconvenient. They celebrate your wins without jealousy or deflection. If these feel foreign, that's okay. Healing is partly about learning what safety feels like, often for the very first time in our lives. So how do we heal? How do we begin to heal from friendship trauma? First off, let's grieve these old stories. It's okay to mourn the friendships that hurt you, the years you spent overgiving, the little girl who just wanted to belong, who just wanted her own tribe and source of love and positivity. Practice micro-trust. Start by sharing small truths with safe people and notice how they respond. And then let that trust grow slowly. Use your body as your compass. Like, pay attention. Do you feel tensed, braced, smaller after you have time together? Or do you feel more expansive or grounded? That's your truth. Like, how you feel when you walk away from a person, whether it's friendship, family, or romance, that tells you a lot about that relationship and who that person is. And maybe my next suggestion is to set more boundaries. Set boundaries early. Boundaries aren't rejections. They're information about how to stay connected safely. I'm recording this right now and I have a bunch of text messages popped up. So I just want to sidestep. If this comes out in the recording, I'm so sorry. I don't have fancy editing and I'm on a time crunch because I am just on the behind train this week. It is Tuesday and I've been behind almost everything. So forgive me if there's noises and dings. If there's not, well, sidebar. Thanks for being here. All right, so after setting boundaries, experiment with self-friendship. Spend time cultivating a relationship with yourself so loneliness doesn't push you back into survival relationships. Friendships. Love the shit out of yourself. I don't know how to say this. I can bang on the wall. I can sound a horn. But the goal, the first step into healing is loving the shit out of yourself. And what does that look like? Treat yourself like a toddler. Make sure you have good sleep. Make sure you have good food. Make sure you have plenty of playtime. And make sure you get choices in what you're doing with your daily life. And if you need accommodations, extra toys, extra clothes, something blanky, whatever, you bring it with you in the adult world, in the adult version. And then seek community, whether it's online or in person. Find neurodivergent affirming spaces that can remind you that you are not broken and you are not alone. I'm a yoga teacher. I teach a donation-based yoga class on the beach once a week, and it just attracts the women that are like me, that kind of love the way I do yoga, and it's fun. What they donate, I can buy more blankets. I can buy a yoga flag so more people find out about it. So like they're helping me grow my tribe while I'm helping them grow their tribe. And like it's me giving back, but also them giving to me. And it's just so rewarding. So like if you can't find the space, create the space. You are what the world needs. Your people will find you. Okay, find local events. I just signed up for this bookstore that's a cookie coffee shop with a little witchy store, La Brujita Boutique, right? And it is so fun. They're going to do tea leaf readings. We're going to color a bookmark. And there's some other stuff. So like find things in your community. Find things in your community that speak to you, that are fun and might bring the like-minded people to the group that you can make a friend. So it's simple, not easy. It takes time because when you realize that you have these friendship traumas or that your friendships hold these red flags that I spoke of, it's time to start creating boundaries. It's start creating distance so that you're safe. But also you've got to turn that love in towards yourself so that you don't find yourself in a lonely pit. It's not about being lonely. It's about having a life that doesn't make you feel lonely. You are good company. Learn to enjoy your company. Love the shit out of yourself. Because friendship traumas cut deep. because it touches our most tender longing to belong. And when you've been misunderstood, rejected, or used, it makes sense that friendships feel hard. But you're not broken for struggling here. You're human. And your longing for connection is not a weakness. It's a sign of your aliveness. As you move forward, I want you to remember this. You deserve friendships where you don't have to shrink, where your laughter is welcome and your sensitivity is honored, your silence is safe, and where your whole self belongs. You don't have to settle for survival bonds anymore. You get to choose soul bonds. Do not be afraid to cut somebody off if they've got bad vibes. Let them go. Shake that off. Thank you for being here, for noticing, and for letting me walk with you on this journey. If this episode resonated, share it with another woman who needs to hear this, that she's not too much and she doesn't have to settle in friendship. I love to hear from you. Message me, comment, follow me, leave me an emoji. Today's emoji would be, how about a pink heart? I don't know if I've used that before, but a pink heart emoji would be great. Like I said in the beginning, I offer private sessions for virtual therapy if you're in Texas, virtual life coaching if you're outside of the state or abroad. Whether you're healing trauma, navigating a big life shift, or just ready to come home with yourself, I hold space for you and for women like you every day. If that's something you're curious about, you can fill out my consultation form via my link tree in the show notes. And also, if you want inspiration, listen to my Spotify playlist, Divine Woman. It's in the link tree. Click it, listen, love it. There are some very inspiring songs. And this week's bonus episode on Friday in 2 days is going to be my top 10 songs of my healing journey and how they affected me and what I was doing at that time, and just a little bit about how they inspired me. I think it's going to be fun because I want to share these artists with you because they are doing good work. All right. You're never too much. You're never too late. And you do not have to figure this out all alone. I'm here for you. I'm here with you. Until next time, may you be happy and free. May mine and your healing ripple outward to bless the world with happiness and freedom. Take care of you, and I'll see you soon.